Hi, thank you for tuning in to Global Elite Academy. If you have any questions, please go to the website Global Elite Academy. Either drop us a few lines through our questionnaire or question communication email we have there, or you can give us a call, globaleliteacademy.net. Today, we're going to talk about IHSS in Indiana. Last week, we showed you how to open up an agency in Indiana. Now we're going to tell you how to do the IHSS. The IHSS is called In-Home Support Services, and everywhere is called something different. In Indiana, you have a couple of similar programs. It's called the HCBS Waivery Program, which is the Medicaid Home and Community-Based Service. These programs allow you to stay in your home and get the help you need for home care. So one of your waiveries there is called Pathways for Aging Waivery. And these are for individuals 60 years old and over to help them stay in their house. The other program you have is Health and Wellness Waivery. It's for individuals under 60 and under with disability. These waivers cover service such as the attendance help with activities of daily living. Okay, and it also can help for family members who want to work for their family and get paid for it. You can also apply for that through this too, and it'll help the family members pay for the service for their loved ones. Okay. All right. Let me see. So, and then you have another program there. Look like it's called Choice Program. It's the community and home option to institutionalize care for elderlies and disabled. Choice is a state program supporting seniors and disabled adults to remain in their home with services like personal care, homemaking help. It's another form of in-home support, often used alongside with Medicare or other fundings. So actually, if you wanted to do seniors, look like there's two programs that you could do for seniors: the attended care and then the choice program, or it's called Pathway for Aging Waivery. And then you can also do choice program. So you would kind of choose as the agency what type of patients, you want to take, and then you would apply for that service. It doesn't say how much it is. Usually these programs, if you're going to apply for the IHSS program, that's, it's obviously it's not called that there. In Indiana, cost is for you to sign up, because in different cities it's a different price. So let's see what the price is, what Medicare, and they're not telling me a price. Oh, here it is. For the attendant care, the Medicare reimbursement. So now if you're an agency, they pay pretty good, because in Denver, I think it's $29 or $28 and some change. So in Indiana, I'm in Denver. That's why I said that. I'm in Colorado. So in Indiana, it's paying $34.60 per hour, for an agency for the program called attendance care or attendance care service. So they have a law in Indiana. It says by law, the agency must pass through at least 70% of that payment towards the caregivers. For the wages, the benefits, and all of that. So all that's gonna be okay. I don't know what the rate is for caregivers in Indiana, but I'm sure you're cheaper than Denver, and Denver is like $20 an hour. So I'm sure you're probably cheaper back east. But anyway, $34.36. So that's how much you would get an hour per patient after you've paid the caregiver. So in other words, let's say back there, if you're paying a caregiver 18 an hour. So you would pay the caregiver 18 an hour. I'm just saying 18. And then you would keep the rest per hour. That's the way it goes. Okay. So now, if you're a family member, though, and you want to take care of your loved ones, they have 3 levels here. The first level of care, and this is going to probably determine what type of care the care they need. So level 1, you'll get $77.54 per day. Level 2 is $99.71 per day. And level 3 is $133.44 per day. So if an agency, so if you are you'll have to go through it. You'll have to go through an agency if you're a family member. So if you go to an agency, the agency is going to not pay you this full amount because they're going to keep some for themselves. But it says here that, you have to get at least 60% of that. Okay. Wow, I'm really surprised that they pay that much there. Okay, so here it is here. The typical base pay for caregivers in Indiana is from $13 to $20 an hour, depending on the agency and the duty. That's a big jump, 13 to 20. So I'd have to check that out a little bit more if you wanted, to know, because that's a big jump. It's probably, if that's the case, maybe it's around 15 or 16 for the home care, and then, the 20 might be for skilled agencies. Some family caregivers programs report daily stipend between $50 to $70 a day, depending on the care level. They're saying that these are estimates, and it depends on, the specific case, what's wrong with the patient, and all of that. Okay, so I'm just really surprised because I think that's a good amount of, I just think it's a good amount for that area because you're back east. And if you're paying that back east, and they're not even getting that much out this way, I'm mountain. And we always, I think, is more expensive than you are back east. So I'm really surprised that they're paying that much. Let me see what caregivers are getting paid. Okay, so I was right. The general home care caregivers is about $16 per hour on average for in-home care caregivers across Indiana. $15.96 is a commonly reported average for home health aides. So now that's not you. Home health is the skilled agency. That's the what we call bath aids, where they give the patient the bath. Non-medical caregivers average from 1478 per job per site. Oh, I see. Okay, so 14 so yeah, $14. 14 dollars is what you're paying for non-medical. Okay, so here's what home instead caregivers, which is a non-medical agency, they're paying $15.31. Home helpers are paying $16.97, and comfort keepers caregivers are paying $15.12. So in Indiana, let me tell you, in Indiana, if you're hiring the caregivers, and I'm looking at these prices, what Home Instead and all these other people are paying, I would say if you have a shortage there, which you probably do because there's a shortage everywhere, so I would advise you to pay 18 an hour because home helpers paying 16.97. That's 17 an hour right there. If you're paying a little bit more than them 18, you'll probably be able to get quite a few caregivers because caregivers are going to go where the rate is the highest. And so that's what I would advise you to do in that Indiana area. Hire people. I think caregivers. And now, if you want to, you can hire them between 15 and 18. That will be up to you if you want to do that. But if you're finding you're not getting a lot of people answering the ads and stuff like that, then I would kick it up a notch and give 18. If you're hiring at 16, 15 and 16, and then people are definitely coming, you're getting a lot of people to answer, then then you could keep it there. But I always like to pay a little bit more because these caregivers just have a habit of jumping from place to place, whoever's paying the most. And so if the highest people there are paying approximately 17, and then 18 is, really good because you're getting 34 for those patients. So that means you would pay them 18, and then the rest you would keep. You see what I'm saying? You probably would pay, you give them 18 and you'll give them 18 an hour because we're going by the Medicare waiver. And if it's $34 and some change, you would give the caregiver 18, and then you could keep what is that, about 15 an hour? But that's still going to be good. Now, this is what you could do also. For private pay, you could give the caregivers 18 an hour. But for Medicare patients, you could tell them that you'll pay 16 an hour. You could do that too. Because Medicare patients don't pay as much as private patients. So if they're giving you 34 for Medicare patients, you could probably get way more than that. 30, probably 40 for home care. But you'd have to check in your area, and it's easy to do that. Do a market analyst, call the agencies, tell them your mother is sick or something, and you need help, and get their prices. And you could call 3 agencies like that, and you'll get the prices. And so you'll see that's what they're charging for their patients, and then you can see what you're charging. Don't do that for, just tell them it's private pay. Because I've already told you with Medicare pay, so you want to look at what private pay pays. And that should help you out a lot. This is the first audio that I've talked more on about the pay than I have on any of them when I'm talking about IHSS. And I'm glad I did because I think this is valuable information that you all need. You really need to know how much the caregivers are going for in your area. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Bye bye.